Hello students, welcome back to my another class. Hope you all will be doing a great job. Students, today I am going to take the another lesson of your class 9th English textbook Moments, that is lesson 4 in the Kingdom of Fools, which has been written by A.K. Ramanujan. If we talk about the poet, A.K. Ramanujan was an Indian poet, scholar, professor, philologist, translator and playwright, who wrote both in English and Kannada. Now let's see what he is talking about in this story, that is in the Kingdom of Fools. This story is a Kannada folk tale, and I am quite sure that you must be knowing the meaning of a folk tale. Folk tale is such a story which is passed on from one generation to another generation. This is also a kind of folk tale. It is taken from the book Folk Tales from India. And as you see the title, in the Kingdom of Fools, so here this story narrates the state where people are not wise. They are not intelligent. Okay, when this kind of people rule the kingdom, then what all happens has been told in the story. So this has been the brief introduction. Now let's go deeper into it. But before that, let's learn some new vocabs. So the first word that we have is disciple, which means a follower or a pupil of a teacher. Then we have sneak, which means go or do something secretly. Okay. Then execution we have, which means legal punishment of killing someone. Another word we have culprit, which means a person who is responsible for a crime or any misdoing, any misdeed. Then we have bailiffs, which means law officers. Then clamor we have, which means a loud complaint about something or a demand for something. Okay, if you're demanding something loudly, that can also be a clamor. Promptly means with an immediate effect. Okay, if you want something in a quick way, that is what? Promptly, quickly. Then persuade we have, which means to convince someone. Okay, convincing someone is known as persuading. Then we have plead, which means to argue a case in a court of law. That is what? Pleading. Then damn. Damn is a word that you would have seen generally is used to express anger with someone or something. Okay, that is what called damn. So these are some of the words of this chapter. Do learn these vocabs as they are going to be very helpful for you all. Now let's go through the summary part of it. In the Kingdom of Fools is an interesting story of a kingdom which is run by a foolish king. One day, a saint and his disciple reached the kingdom. When they reached what they found, the saint was astonished to see that the people were sleeping during the day and worked during the night. Moreover, he was disturbed to see that all food items in the kingdom costed the same, that is 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is a certain amount through which, or by paying this amount, you can buy anything in any amount or in any number. He analyzed that it was Kingdom of Fools. So he ordered his disciple to leave the place, but the disciple did not leave with his guru, as he was lured by the abundance of cheap food. Okay, as he was very much fond of eating something, and when he knew that the things are available here in cheap cost, he decided to stay there. One day, a man approached the king for justice. He claimed that his brother was committing his ancient trade of theft, and during that, the wall of a man's house fell on him and he died. So he asked the king to get him compensated. As the king was foolish, he did not realize that the dead man was a criminal. On the contrary, he tried all the people who were involved in the death of the thief. Many persons were called for the punishment. At first, the rich merchant, who was the owner of the house, whose wall had broken, he was called. Then the man who had built the house. Then the dancing girl, due to whom the builder had built a weak wall. And the goldsmith, because of whom the dancing girl had to move around in the street that day. Finally, the king decided that the merchant's father was the real culprit. Okay, he thought that he was the culprit. But here, as he was dead and his son inherited all his property, so he would also get punished in place of his father. So these were the things that were decided by the king. At the same time, another turn of events takes place. When the minister feels that the merchant is too thin to be killed by the stake, okay, through which the peoples are killed. So the king orders his men to find a fat person who could be punished. And you know who is the fat one here? As the disciple had become very fat just because of his eating habits, so the king's men took him to the king. Now the innocent disciple prayed to his guru for help. His guru visualizes that his disciple is in trouble, so he reaches there soon to save him. He uses his intelligence and wisdom to trap the foolish king. The guru and the disciple, they whispered each other something and started fighting each other. The guru said, "Put me to the stake first, and then my disciple to death after me." The king got puzzled listening this all and asked, "Why do you want to die first?" Then the guru told him that the stake has never had a criminal on it. So whosoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country. Finally, the king and his minister get themselves killed by the stake. And after this, the people of the kingdom beg the guru and his disciple to be their new king and minister. After this, the guru agreed on a condition that the kingdom would function normally like all other kingdoms did. Okay, so you have seen like what had happened in the story, you would have understand what are those things that we have learned. It's the time to discuss. So what is the first thing that you have learned, students? What is the moral of the story? Or if I say, what is the message of the story that you get? The first message is that one should stay away from the foolish people. Otherwise, one is bound to suffer a lot. The another message is that one should use wisdom, not logic, to tackle the foolish people. So that's it for now. Thank you so much. Take care and good day.